Right guys, so today we're off in search of some ancient barrows up round the back near Pindale. There's quite a lot of what they call tumuli up there. So you must have seen them on maps. It says Tumulus. Well, they're actually ancient barrows. So a grave of some probably quite senior or important guys going back thousands of years. So that's where we're going to head. I'm not going to film too much in Castleton today. It's absolutely rammed as usual. So we'll head out towards Pindale and then we'll catch up when we get to the first Tumulus, which is just above the Pindale Road. So here we are at the top. This is the Tumulus, plural tumuli. Good old Latin. Never learnt any of that, didn't get to the right school. Anyway, that's the burial mound. You can see the fantastic views. So whoever this was must have been a very important person, probably a chieftain. The history in this place goes back to Neolithic times. It's quite a famous barrow, which you can see almost from here. I'll try and zoom in on it on the next bit of video I put up. But in the distance there, Lord's Seat. That's a barrow going back 4,500 years. Mamtor, there's an Iron Age hill fort there, about 3,500 years. You can see the rim. I'll just do that on the other camera so you can see it in more detail. But yeah, that's the first one of the day. Always makes you wonder who it was and what's buried with them and what's under there, doesn't it? Fascinating stuff. So I'll catch up with you shortly, because then we're off over down Dirtlow Rake, which we can see in the background there, heading off in that direction. So I'll catch up with you shortly, unless I get eaten by zombies or something. Okay, catch soon. I've just come over the brow. Look at that, like a quarry almost, but I reckon that could have been some sort of religious thing there. With a barrow here being on top. Let's see when it's past there as well. I'll do a video and I'll add all the key landmarks on it as I go around. So I'm just going to get the tripod out. That's old Pindale Quarry there, disused quarry. That's quite cool. I've done a couple of walks up there. Probably do another. So I'll do a bit of a 360 I think, and tag all the key landmarks and bits of interest as I go around. So catch up with you shortly. Well, here we are on Dirtlow Rake, which goes all the way down here over towards Eldon Hill I think. Wait, I found out why they're called rakes actually, because I haven't got a bloody clue whether it's a Derbyshire thing or an English thing. I'll do a bit of research, pop it up on the video. Quite a cool old quarry there. See if you can see that behind me. It's yeah, quite cool that. It's halfway along Dirtlow Rake, and then we're going to carry on that way. Bit of a cool effect around the sun there. Anyway. So here you can see the quarry. Them in the background you can see Moor, and you can see all the people, paragliders on there. Crazy, isn't it? Like the Blackpool, the beacon in the background. You can see Kinder Scout in all its glory. And the great ridge in front of it. There's back tour. That's normally quite busy as well. Yeah, you can see people on there. Cool. So, zooming in here on Lord's Seat, Shell Lump, right on the top of Russia Edge. That's Lord's Seat, which is another barrow, 4,500 years old. They're just fencing it off at the moment. Stop people ruining it because they just stand on it and all sorts. But yeah, that's 4,500 feet old. And then obviously you can see the edge there of the hill fort on Moor, which clearly was there before the landslide, and that's 3,500 years old. Hang glider there. Out there, disused mine. Trying to find out what it's called actually. So I've got it on the old map here. Old Moor mine, disused, like an open cast mine, probably lead. And you can see some riders right into the distance there. So I was going to cut across this track here, but I'm not sure if there's a gate at the end. So I'm going to stay on this side of the fence because I definitely saw a gate there. And then we're going to back on that track there. So we'll just carry on over here, just help some people get over there, trying to find Cavedale and the Limestone Way. And you know, you pretty much took a wrong turn somewhere, mate. The Limestone Way is over there. But anyway, they'll get there. I'll give them some directions. So yeah, let's crack on over here. So there you see Eldon Hill, Russia Edge, Moor, Great Ridge, Lewes Hill, Win Hill. In the distance of the edges, I've done a more detailed video which I'll put up as well to support this, along towards Great Oxlow. And then I think it might get a good sunset tonight. You never know, it might be too much cloud, I don't know. Coming back over towards Dove Holes there and the ridge. I found out what that's called because it's always bothered me what it is. Then back over. I think in the distance that might be Lantern Pike, can't be certain. And then the vent on the top of near Brown Knoll, Russia Edge there, there's a vent and a little old hut. That's quite a cool walk. And then back along Russia Edge to Moor, pretty much a full 360. Okay, well we're going to head off down here now, back on the Limestone Way, down to the bottom, and then back up over there. If you can see that farm in distance towards Moor, we're going to up over there eventually, and then back down Winnat's Pass. Guys, the other Tumulus apparently is just over the wall. It's not very easily discernible, but that apparently is another great. You can't get to that, it's not on near a footpath or anything, so I'll stick to the rules. But yeah, so that's the second Tumulus of the day. There's also one over on the top of near Eldon Moor over there as well, so plenty of Tumulus on here. You can see them on the map, you know, lots and lots of them. And then we're going to head off into the sunset down the Limestone Way. See you soon. Again, more old disused workings, but obviously a long time ago, judging by these trees, and I think these have been here a while. So we're heading off down there. Just come from down there. It's a really cool, like an avenue of trees there. I took a picture of that. That's quite impressive. But we're going down to this farm and then back up over that way. So I'll catch up with you and see something a bit more interesting. That was a really cool footpath. I didn't film it because a guy was there, but literally goes through the side of that house. That lean-to there, there's a store saying footpath. You come through there and along the wall here. How cool was that? Anyway, we're off over here now, and then once we get to something more interesting, we'll get back to you. Never ending. Remember my video? I'll put a link in at the end of this about path signs. So previously they were all yellow arrows, which are footpaths. Now we're on to a bit of what's called open access. So on here you can pretty much roam where you like. I think we're going up over by them rocks there. It's like when you come over one hill, there's another fucking hill, isn't there? Anyway, so I'll put a link to that video in the end, like I said. So we're going to crack on now over this style. Onwards and upwards. Like I said, you can see the switch here. So from this side of the style, you're going from open access to a footpath. So the yellow arrow, all good stuff. Nice view across towards, I think that's Outdooractive down there, if I correct me wrong. It's starting to get a bit of an effect in the sky over there too. Anyway, as Scott said, I'm just going to go outside for a while now. So crack on across this open moorland for a bit now. Catch up on you a bit. Bit of a sunset over there. Nothing too great. Still, good to be out. Up here in the Peak District. I was interested in where the Peak District got its name because I had a German visitor over from work and he goes, Peak District. There's not many peaks around here, which has got a point. But actually derives from a tribe, I think Anglo-Saxon tribe, who were around at the time called the Peak tribe, and that's where the Peak District gets its name. It's one on Eldon Hill over there. So yeah, interesting that. Of course you automatically think Peak, it's spelled P-E-A-K. I'll see what I can find out about them and maybe just drop a bit more detail info on the video in a text field or something like that pop up. See Winnat over there, the edges. So yeah, sun's starting to drop now. There's the old rule, I've probably got 45 minutes, 15 minutes a finger roughly, unless you've got massive hands. Alright, we're going to carry on now anyway, and yeah, see you shortly. So here we are, path down towards Mount Tor. We're going to get that road where you can see the cars. Over in a distance, Mam Nick, Weekender Scout in the background, so that's a road through to Edale. Still a lot of people on the top there, and still making their way up. But, they won't get much of a sunset today. To be honest with you, you get some stunning sunrises there if anything else. I've yet to do one yet, I need to do that. Try and get a cloud inversion, that'd be cool. Just going to Winnat's Pass now. Been in lots of films this. Quite spectacular really. It's almost like you're somewhere in Lord of the Rings or something, or Game of Thrones, which was filmed up the road in Cavedale. Be a bit careful here. Just had to walk past some dickhead who'd parked his car right by the gate where all the cars come through. It just makes you wonder about some people. Common sense, what the fuck happened to that, mate? Anyway, be quiet for a bit while I concentrate going down here and try and film it. This is going to be fun. It's one with a drone. Drone. Give me a 12 bore. No, not mine, mate. I'd shoot you with a 12 bore, mate. I would. Damn things. Really is something out of a movie. fantastic. So lucky living here. I walk up this every day. Just a quick one again, there's a Devil's Elbow I just spoke about. Some crags up there. And rocks do fall down here occasionally, so 100% safe. There's caves up there as well. There is a famous story here. So a couple, I think it was in the 17th century, something like that, were eloping to get married and had quite a bit of gold on them. I think it was equivalent today of about £37,000, something like that. Anyway, they stopped in Castleton in one of the coaching inns, and some miners overheard them, so they ambushed them in the pass, murdered them and stole the gold. Legend has it that each of those miners then died quite a horrible death afterwards over time, some sort of recompense for their sins, I guess. And the couple are meant to be buried inside the churchyard at Castleton, although I've not managed to find it. But I'll find out a bit more detail on that. Maybe put a link in the bio to the story in a bit more detail for those of you that are interested. Then we're now just coming round here. There's Win Hill. I might take a picture of that actually. That's a Devil's Elbow. Bit of a scramble up there if you fancy it. Too old for that shit now. I'll catch up with you soon. Just at the bottom of Winnat's Pass is the Speedwell Cavern. That's quite cool. You go on a little boat trip into an old lead mine. The best bit is a boat trip, but you know, that's worth the trip if you ever fancy it. The tour guides are really funny, so yeah, highly recommended. It's one of the three. So there's a Speedwell. Tree Cliff is just up over that ridge, and the Blue John around the back of that, and there's also the Odin mine over there. Why can't people just shut frigging gates? It's about the fourth one I've seen today. Don't take much, you know. God, you've got to just hate people sometimes. Idle, lazy fuckers. That's what they are. That's what it took. Right over Goose Hill now. It's going to be quite slippy on the bottom of Longcliffe. Then we come into Goose Hill and then up to the market place and back home, thank God. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. I've up there to Outdooractive. I'll put some pictures of it. Very steep, and there's a rope to help you get up or down. So I've not done that yet, but I think I'm going to have to try that. Probably when I'm in a bit better shape. So I think if I try it at the moment, it will go disastrously wrong. Then you can see over there castle and the paths up to the castle. That actually was the main entrance years ago. So the way you go in now is through the rear entrance for half an hour. But yeah, that used to be the main entrance with a bridge over to it, which is no longer there. And then you've got Goose Hall down the bottom there, and then home. So looking forward to getting back there shortly. You can probably see that a bit clearer now. That's the path up to the castle round the back. You can't go in that way, you have to go in via the marketplace and through the visitors entrance, so I'll have to do a tour around that when there's not a lot of people about, probably in the week, early doors, because it gets quite popular. If you're of English heritage, you get in free. If you live here, you get in free. So I'm always up there when I can, get some stunning views there. But we're heading to the left down here. Going to tag on to Goose Hill and a quick walk through the back of the village, past the Instagram house, as they call it. So I'll show you that one. Makes me laugh, that, the Instagram house, but it is. Every man and his dog gets a picture in front of that house. People with millions when they sell that, I bet. Anyway, we're heading off down here now. The light really is starting to drop a bit, so quite sure how good the video is going to come out. But anyway, I'll catch up with you when we get into Castleton. Well, one of them days today. Just saw here barn owl drop down into the field, and yeah, got a camera, got the video. I think I've missed it. I'll have a look, but it caught a mouse or a vole or something, headed off to the barn there and dropped into the field, probably to eat it. So, but as I've just noticed there, fantastic purple sky over Moor. Should get a picture of that. But yeah, the barn owl, man, just wouldn't focus on it. I was like gutted, but I've still seen one. Anyway, okay, catch up shortly. There's a good thing about coming back when it's a bit dark. Nobody here. That bone tail after the bridge is the There's a shop there, this bloke just, oh, you've got to go in, great character, all old bric-a-brac, house sales, antique, you name it, he's probably got it in there. It's well worth taking a look. And then, yeah, there's a famous Instagram house. Then in the background there's cliffs at the entrance to the Devil's Arse, or Peak Cavern, but I'll do a proper tour around the village at some point, when it's a bit lighter early in the mornings, there's nobody about. We're going to head up over there to the left now, to the stones, also called the slippery stones. It's in the wet, it's quite difficult to get a horse and cart up there apparently, if I remember rightly. Anyway, yeah, I'll take a picture of this and then head back to the marketplace, but just catch a little shot going back in there, wrap the walk up as I walk in. Catch you soon. So, bit of a shot back over to Mamtor, down the stones, heading back over the marketplace. Amazing how this place dies off after 5 o'clock. Down there's a George on the left, best pub in the village. We're heading back home. There we are. Well, there we are. The end of the walk, about 8 miles. I'll put all the details up and how far and how fast and how steep and all that malarkey afterwards. But yeah, good walk there. Got to see some of the ancient barrows and got on top of one of them and got some really good views. And now I'm going to sit down and not do anything for the next couple of hours till the missus gets home from the pub working, and then we'll cook some tea. Anyway, I'll put a link up to the one about hiking kit and stuff in the Outdooractive app. I'll put those up in the end cards so you can go and link to them if you want to go and watch them, and I'll catch you on the next one.